Hey you guys, what's up? This your girl Diana Lacole, and I am back with another episode on the irony of it all. Y'all, today we're talking about the struggles of healing and really looking at people for who they are and not who we want them to be. And the things that come along with finally seeing people and accepting them for who they are and not who we want them to be. Now, the great thing about this podcast is that I get to give my point of view, my outlook, my thoughts and feelings on different traumas, different healing techniques, different styles that work for me. I want to be clear, my way may not work for everyone. But I promise you, if you open your mind up and actually pray and talk to God about it, He will give you your blueprint on how to heal and get yourself together. And you may not be able to see all of the, different areas on the blueprint, but as you begin to build and heal and grow, they'll start coming up to play. You'll start realizing what you need to do next, what's your next steps, how you should move. And then God starts placing people in your life to help you along the way with your trauma, with your hurt, with your brokenness, with your emptiness. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Let's talk about my way of healing, on my journey with God and really seeing people for who they are and not who I wanted them to be. Now, it was hard for me to go back and heal a couple of things because I had learned to cope with them for so long, to just suppress it and act as if it happened, but it doesn't matter. Even though it mattered. And the reason it mattered is because it was causing different actions in my adulthood that stemmed from past trauma. When you go to open up, I get kind of heavy on this, because when you go to open up doors on your trauma, on your hurt, on your emptiness, and why you feel the way you do, you begin to open up your memory to things that has happened to you. And it can be so hard to address it. We try to sweep it under the rug, a lot of things, and act as if it doesn't bother us. So let's get into it. Once you learn to take things for what they are and not what you want it to be, you then allow yourself to be on the path to finally healing properly. And I say that because until we step back and see people for who they are and not who we made them out to be in our mind, if we step back and we see their trauma, we see their hurt, we see them for who they are, then we allow ourselves to really have time to think and understand why they act how they act. And even though their actions does not sit well with us as a person, that doesn't matter. You want to know why? Because it's not your cross to carry. Okay? We have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with the fact that we cannot carry the hurt and the emptiness and the pain that the people that hurt us has put on us. The people that has traumatized us, we cannot carry that because they have to answer for it, not you. The only accountability that you have to take in trauma that was not your fault is you held on to it for too long. I allowed this trauma to sit on my chest for all these years. That's what you're accountable for. When you should have been let the way go, because you know why? You deserve to be happy and not carrying anyone's burdens, anyone's cross, but your own. Because at the end of the day, that was a little tongue twister. You heard it? At the end of the day, you have to answer for you. You have to be accountable for your actions. Not what happened to you. You have to be accountable for your actions. So it's all about the way we learn to react to trauma, to hurt, to pain, in the past, the present, and in the future. Now, we're going to go a little deeper, because I hear all the time people say the past is the past, let it be. Yeah, but if you do not go back and address that past and heal it, as far as going back and healing your inner child, things that happened to you as a child that has programmed you to think how you think, love how you love, move how you move, speak how you speak. A lot of that stems back to your childhood Why? Because we learn the most between the ages of being a newborn. We start picking up, but from between 1 and 5, that's when we learn the most. That's when we really pay attention, and we're then programmed to think what we're being seen, what we've been shown is the way that life is supposed to work. So if you don't have a parent that's very loving and very caring to you, then when you get older, you don't think that that's normal. There may be a pain. It causes reactions out of even kids that we don't even know that we're like forming and creating this trauma, like this trauma action. Like it starts an action that's kind of crazy because, for instance, if a mother is very loving and caring on her child when they're younger, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be a very loving and caring person. Now, if the mother kind of not neglects like how you think, but if she's more so, say she has multiple kids, like 7 kids, like my mother, it's impossible for her to give the same amount of equal love to every child. It's impossible because she's one person going against 7. It's impossible. You understand what I'm saying? So with that, someone's going to feel like they're loved less, and someone's going to feel like someone else is loved more. And in that, it creates trauma. It creates different reactions that we don't even pay attention to, because we'll start. I remember with me, because I'll speak on myself. I remember with me, it was like I became one of those, like, it was always something wrong with me. And this is a trait I picked up and I carried through my childhood. Like, almost, I won't say, I know it's like a disorder, I think they said it is, but I never researched it, but I did hear. It's like when I would always say, like, oh, my head hurts. Oh, my body's tired. Oh, I'm sleepy. Oh my God, I think I have a fever. I'm hot. Like, just to have more attention, to pull more attention because other kids were getting it. Almost like a kind of jealous, envious, hey, I'm right here, can you see me type of thing. And then I carry that into my adulthood. So that's why it's so important to address your inner childhood trauma, to go back in there and be like, hey, and then you have to know that your inner child is within you. That's why they say always go back to your happy place. Always go back to your happy place. Always go back and address your happy place, which was when you were a kid, when you just loved to love and you were just free and open. So you have to address that issue, because if you don't, you bring that into your adulthood and it creates more trauma, more hurt. That's why I tell people, when you're healing, you have to go deeper than the surface. You have to go deeper than what you think. You have to go deep. I'm talking about generations deep. Yeah, not just how the parents are, not just how their action is. How is their dad's dad? How was their dad's action? How was their mom's actions? How did they move? And once you start digging into that and you're realizing, okay, well, this could have created trauma. Okay, that created trauma. So we're dealing with somebody who's dealing with a lot of hurt from trauma that had nothing to do with me. Okay, let me kind of, now I can understand this person better. Now I can see this person for who I want them to be. I can see this person for who they are instead of who I want them to be. And then I'm able to see if this is something I want to be involved in or not. Am I willing to, sacrifice the time that it takes to heal? So it's very important to finally step back and be like, okay, it's time to address some things and go within and really figure out why is this person actions like this. Okay, they won't talk to me, so let me step back and start seeing things how I'm supposed to see it. Like, God help me to understand. God help me to see. God help me to get clarity on this, because I'm lost. I'm confused, and I don't want to judge anyone out of pocket anymore, God. I want to take people for who they are and not who I want them to be, God. Like, open me up to understand, And then you'll start paying attention to more stuff and going deeper, and you won't. And then I always tell people to pray for strength. If it's a lot on you, pray for that. Like, pray to, encourage yourself. Pray for God to just be with you. God, give me the strength. Give me the discernment to understand what I'm trying to understand. I don't want to judge anybody, God. I just want to be fair. What's going on? Help me to release. I'm going to give it to you. Give it to him. And he'll start just putting things together in your mind and your heart, and you'll start seeing things different, and you're like, okay, that's who you are. I have to take you for who you are and not who I want you to be. And I'm okay with that now. So I just encourage everybody, because it's hard. I'm not perfect. I've said it almost every video. I make it clear that there are times I still fall short. But I know that in the Bible it says do not be quick to anger. And I have to step back sometime and really think about the actions of not only myself but other people, and really understand this is not your battle. This is not your burden to carry. This is not it. Not right. No. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with putting the sword down of protecting yourself, and finally pick up the sword of understanding. It's mandatory for your growth, for your healing, for your season. It's mandatory. That's like with me. I tell people all the time, I love everybody. And some people may think, girl, what are you talking about? How can you love everybody? What you mean you love everybody? Exactly what I said. I had to get to a place where I understood and I accepted people for who they were and not who I wanted them to be. Exactly who they were. And once I did that, I really walked into a season of love. Okay, you cursed me out. You might have just had a bad day. I'll be that punching bag today. I get it. I had those days, but take your time, sweetie. Be gentle with yourself. Have people really just, go all in on me. You've been through a lot. I get it. I still love you. People see me say I'm spiritual, and instead of me saying that I'm a Baptist or anything like that, and it's nothing against any other religion. I respect everybody. That's why I say I love everybody. But with me being spiritual, it's my connection with the Most High, with God, with Jesus, myself. It's a clear line with myself, and for that, I'm grateful for that type of bond. And it's that's the type of bond you don't even want to alter, you don't want to play with, So it's I have to love, because God is love. I have to be of love, and it's not because, I want God to think. No, it's the feeling that you get when you're just love. When you finally understand life and what it's really about. That's just what you want to ooze. You just want it to just come out of every pore, and it, circulate out of every cell in your body. Love, because it's so dark out here. So take your time. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself time to heal. Go address those wounds that you've been crying about, that you've been burying in your mind and in your heart and in your soul for so long. Go ahead and get that off of you so you can be light as a feather. Because we're walking into 2020. No, we're not even walking. We're flying into 2022 light as a feather. Do you hear me? I love you guys so much. I'm always here to encourage and pray for you guys, uplift y'all. Thank y'all so much for listening. It means so much to me from the bottom of my heart. I hope some of these tips helped you. Like I said, I speak from my point of view, but you never know who could use some tips. It may work for other people, and I pray that it does, but also go to God with your, with it all, because He's waiting on us. He's definitely waiting on us because He's rooting for us. I'm rooting for y'all also. I love y'all so much. This your girl, Diana Lacole. I can't even say my own name. Diana Lacole, and I'm signing out. You guys have a great night. Peace out.